Zivanovic from Serbia and Montenegro, Juraj Sviatko from Slovakia, Ari-Pekka Nurmankari from Finland, and then the always entertaining Vakhtang Mervanidze from Georgia. As you know from our commentaries before, you can't win the competition in the short, but you can lose it. Eliminating mistakes is the order of the day here, and that's what Neil knows. Can really strut his stuff in the free program, but this is all about no mistakes. Joanne McLeod, who trains him in Vancouver, watches him as he prepares. 25 years of age, from Belfast. Best he's done at Worlds, 26. Career, but plenty of talent. Can he deploy it here and make it through to the final stages? 14th in his group. Music, Quixote, performed by Bond. Triple axel okay, although he did step off a little.
He had to fight to hold the landing there, and it wasn't quite clean. A quarter of a turn short on the landing of that. But that's a good start.
Now for his combination. Triple flip, double toe. Triple loop. He is a master at these spins. And that will do. He should be pleased with that. The large British contingent here, pretty happy too. It wasn't perfect, far from it, as Chris said. Just short on the rotations on the triple axel. A little bit of travel perhaps in the spin. But all in all, there are going to be many, many routines that are more deeply flawed than that one.
Yeah, that really was great. And pleased to see him out there skating in that sort of vein, starting off the championships. To all intents and purposes, a clean program, no major deductions in there. just on the triple axel. He doesn't quite get the 3.5 rotations. There's a little bit of a cheat on the end. And when the new judging system comes into play, that will be something that all of the skaters have got to watch, because any jumps that are a quarter of a turn under-rotated will be deemed as a bad attempt at a triple. And if you're less than that, they will be deemed as a bad double. So jumps will have to be landed really, really cleanly. Here's a look at that axel again. Now, if you watch this, if we get a good shot of the landing, you'll see, I'm pretty sure it was a quarter short. Well, no, it was good. It was really good. He was late with the free leg. I'll give him that. Nice and clean. There's a triple flip. We'll see some triple combinations later on, just opting for double on the end of it. A little tight with the knee.
Perhaps just a little bit too Hawkeye. They were Hawkeye.
Hey.
That's good news. You'd say it was what it could have been 0.4 off.
Now, it would only have been a very small deduction on that, because it's such a small amount of rotation. No, it really is good, and that's the beauty of the instant replay system that the judges have got down there, because often if a skater is late with a free leg, or there's a little bit of a wobble on the landing, it can look as though the jumps are under-rotated. But another look at that, slowed down, you can see that he was clean, 3.5 turns, so it's good stuff. Really good skate here from Neil. And he does spin so well. Did get a bit of travel on one of them, but apart from that, good. The step sequences were nice. Really going end to end, which is important.
It's murder being drawn first. Of course, he would have been drawn in the first group of 6, but to go the very first, as far as the judging is concerned, doesn't do you any favors. 30 men skating tonight, so it's a bit of a nightmare for the judges.
Sometimes it can you can benefit from having the average mark, because you do get some consistent marking, so that can sometimes play in your favor. And let's hope so this evening. Good job, Neil, well done.
Yes. 4-0 to 4-4. Yes, they have got the average, and they're pretty close together for this. 4-3 up to 4.6. Difficult to know. First, he says, yes. Don't know how long he's going to stay first, but that's where he is. Let's stop the competition right now with the Brit in the lead. Next, from the Czech Republic. 22nd last year. Didn't turn up any trees, but he was 10th in Europeans, and Chris has picked him out as one to watch. 17 years old, from Prague, Tomas Verner. 3 times national champion of the Czech Republic. Qualified in 13th place in his group. Triple axel, triple toe loop. Triple flip. Unsteady on the landing, but he held it well.
Yeah, he did do well there. Didn't really get the elevation that he wanted on the takeoff. His way through. Fast change foot sit.
Nice finish. He's thrilled with it. There are a few raw edges to his skating, that's for sure. And on occasions there, I thought he was a little slow, but with a bit of strength, that'll be ironed out. The rough edges, they'll go as well. Remember, just 17 years of age. Yes, I'm with you, Chris. He's one to look for.
Yeah, he really is. He's a great talent, I think. And Thomas there doing the double axel, because of course he did the triple axel in combination, and you can't repeat it. And one of the required elements is either a double or a triple axel. But I think the spins let him down a little bit. I've got 0.4 deductions on the spins because there's the recentering of the combination spin where he got a bit of travel and had to settle it down. And in the flying spin, he did a flying camel, and you have to get a good flying position in the air, which he didn't really do, and that can be a 0.2 deduction. But the program started off very, very well indeed. There's that triple axel, 3.5 turns in the air, triple toe on the end. And that's a big combination. You can see really getting that skate to stop, to get loads of energy off the takeoff. Good check with the left arm, plants the left toe in. Very, very quick for the triple toe on the end. And here's the flip. Didn't all go the way he wanted. A little bit of a wobble with the right foot on the spot there, but he's so strong and so confident, he just fought his way through it. Thomas now working in Oberstdorf a lot of the time with Michael Hood, coach of Carolina Kostner. There he is. I think he's made a big impression on this guy. Certainly made a difference to him. Well, let's hope the evening carries on like this, Simon.
Yes, very good start. I said it's not about what you do so much as the mistakes you make while you're doing it. And so far, not many mistakes. Don't particularly like the marks, but remember, he is early on. They've got to accept those. 3.9 to 4.9, and better for presentation. 4.49. Remember, 9 judges will count, 5 will drop off. 8 out of 9 have him first. Now for Serbia and Montenegro, originally from the USA. Stephane Zivanovic, 28 years of age, in his first World Championships. '21st in Budapest in Europeans. Triple flip, triple toe. Just couldn't quite hold on. He was way off, wasn't he? Trade 0.4 off for the fall on the triple axel. Didn't really believe in it, did he?
He seemed to hold back going into that. He pulled on the big jumps just to attack them now. He's really got to be on fire on his footwork, and he is. That was a really silly mistake. Only 4 turns on the backspin. It's got to be a minimum of 6. So deduction there.
Energetic, but I'm afraid too many errors, and the judges are going to be in deep into his marks. And it may be that Triffin here doesn't qualify for the latter stages. 15th in his qualifying, so he just scraped into the short program. I don't imagine he's going to make it through to the free.
Well, it's really going to be an uphill struggle. I can't imagine that he will. You're going to see 2 completely different sets of marks when they come out. The required element mark will have deductions of at least 0.9 I've got. There's the combination, steps out of that, so there's a 0.2 deduction straight away there. Careless mistake on the spin, and I'd give him maximum 0.3 deductions for just 4 turns on the second half of the spin. There he is going for that. Axel made the 3.5 turns. No right knee bend whatsoever, so the body weight just tipped forwards. If he'd gone down in the knee, that would have given him time to get the left leg back, and he'd have been able to hang on to that outside edge.
Yeah, he looked fine in the air, didn't he?
Yeah, he made it. To all intents and purposes, he made it. His weight was over the skate. When he sees that in slow motion, he'll kick himself. He really will.
Not with his skates on, though.
No, I hope not.
It wasn't that bad.
Stepping out the Lutz as well. So there's another 0.2 there. In fact, I hadn't got that one down, so we're up to 1.1 off my marks. So not a good day at the office for Triffin.
Yes, he's sitting there, I think, expecting the worst.
He's not going to like it.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, trainers in Belgrade. So 3.1 to 3.7. Better for presentation 4.0 to 4.6, but he's going to be in 3rd place, that's for sure, of the 3 so far, and I think that is probably the last we'll see of Triffin Zivanovic.
The next skater
aus der Slowakischen Republik.
So now for Slovakia,
Juraj Sviatko.
29th last year. He's not made it through to the final stages so far. Will this be a first for Slovakia? From Kozice, Juraj Sviatko. .4 straight away. Now for the axel. Another flip. Down again. Should have been his combination.
We'll put in the landing of the double axel as well. The touchdown with the free leg on the flying back sit. Every element he's done so far has got a deduction on it.
Well, he's changed the routine round from what he's been doing in practice. I don't know if that's had anything to do with it, but it's very different from a number of his practices, and it just hasn't worked. Jonas Sviatko. Bold shirt. Shame about the performance. Actually, you haven't had any burglars in your house, have you, Chris? Because I swear that's the shirt I saw you in last week.
I was waiting for something like that. That was cheap. Well, he was trying to brighten the evening up, and it wasn't with the skating, unfortunately. Not his night. I've got deductions there of at least 1.2.
Three-time national champion in Slovakia. But I fear he's going to miss out on the final stages in the free program. Jumps were all over the place.
There you can see the Lutz, and he wasn't fully rotated, and that made it very difficult for him to get that free leg back, but he integrated it with the steps beforehand very, very well. See the weight, the heel of the skate just digging into the ice and stopping the momentum there. She didn't like it.
Can you lip read?
Not in that language. Here's the flip.
Should have been the combination. But we never saw the toe loop.
In fact, if he had landed it, he would have got a deduction as well, because his right foot should have been on an inside edge and it was on an outside edge. So there would have been a deduction for starting on the wrong edge. Interesting footwork and an interesting choice of music. It goes along with the outfit, to be honest. Not quite my cup of tea.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mark please for Jonas Sviatko from Slovak Republic.
Don't think he'll lose any sleep about that, Chris, but I think he will on his performance.
Yeah, look at that. Very, very tough mark.
Here with Agnieszka Pudilova, the team leader of the Slovakian contingent. So where will he slot? Third or fourth? It's fourth. He's below Zivanovic. So at the moment it's looking okay for Neil Wilson. He's second at the moment of the four who've gone. Remember, 24 make it through. Next up for Finland, Ari-Pekka Nurmenkari. Double champion in his country. Second Worlds, 28th last year in Washington. This combination. No, it isn't. Should have been triple Lutz, triple toe. There's the combination, triple flip. like the choreography. Big double axel. Very pleasing routine indeed. Skater looks very much at home out there on the ice. An enjoyable routine. I sense though I'm enjoying it more than the judges. But he's a natural skater.
Yes, he is. His timing looked a little slow this evening. That's why the Lutz didn't work for him. Didn't really get the snap as he planted the toe into the ice. But he's a dynamic skater, gets loads of elevation on the ice, and that double axel at the end of the program was a real monster.
Excellent interpretation of the music out on the ice. Terrific hand gestures.
Interesting, the choreographer Ulla Jaskalainen, remember him?
Who could forget?
Yeah. He's been performing in the Hot Ice Show in Blackpool for the last few years, and that's a nasty fall that at the beginning of the program, and to get up from that, because it will have hurt his hip, giving him a bit of a dead leg, and to come back and do a flip like this, that takes some guts. So well done.
Here.
Well done.
Yes, when Ulla Jaskalainen performs, it's with a capital P.
Yeah, you can't stop him, can you? Yeah, there's some good memories.
Oh yeah.
Finland, second in the short program, I remember.
Well, they've got plenty of talent to work with Ari-Pekka.
Ladies and gentlemen, the house please.
He looks happy enough now. Never seemed to be too many nerves, even when he fell flat on his backside early on. Now, where are they going to place him? 14th, remember, he was in his qualification. Is he going to be in front or behind Wilson?
Without doubt behind me.
Probably third, I would think. Yeah. So Neil Wilson still in second place. Thomas Werner leads. And Norman Kari goes into third. And here, the favourite really from this group. Seasoned campaigner, first started back in 1997. 25 years of age now, still a delight to watch, even though sometimes things go a little astray. I hope for the best for Vakhtang Mervanidze from Georgia. No. Threw himself off axis, didn't he? That triple axel. Next will be his combination, Lutz and toe loop. Just not happening. This is what he's best at, getting the crowd going. What on earth was that?
Just a lapse of concentration there, and another deduction. What a nightmare.
He gave it away in the end. Oh dear. Well, you get it all, and sometimes not a lot from Vakhtang Movhanidze. But I've never seen him do that, as if his world crumbled at the end with that final stumble.
Well, it's a horrible feeling when you skate that badly. It's, I've got deductions of 1.3, and I almost stopped looking halfway through.
Alexander Zulin making his way, who coaches him in the States, but he's not rushing to be by his side. Not a lot you can say at this particular juncture.
No, he knows that he's a lot better than that. There's the axle. Just got too much rotation on the way into that. He gave it way too much.
Well, he has qualified for the final stages 4 times as Vakhtang. His best was in the Worlds back in 1999 in Helsinki, where he finished in 17th place, but nothing since then. Yes. Better look upwards, Alexander, than across the ice.
And there's that stumble in the step sequence, just caught a crab, you might say. Interesting to note, he's got a different blade on each foot, different make blade, and the one on his landing foot is a titanium blade, a much stronger one. Didn't help him today, though.
No, it's a cheap shot. Has he got the blades on the right boot?
That is a cheap shot.
Yes. But I think there'll come a time when he appreciates it. Not now. And we hope for more. I hope that's not the end of things for Vakhtang, because he is such a character, and he really does illuminate our afternoons and evenings whenever we watch him. So let's hope Alexander can get him up and ready. I'm not sure he's going to make the free program.
Oh, I don't think so, no. Not with that sort of performance. The first set of marks are going to be, oof,
yeah,
wicked. And to think he was 7th in Europeans last year.
Yes.
It's scarcely credible.
No. That's the measure of the talent he has at his disposal, but he couldn't produce it or anything like it this evening.
It's a tough sport, because when your timing's not there, there's nothing you can do. You just want the ice to open and a big hole to appear so you can disappear down the middle of it.
Or in your case, not such a big hole.
Well, that's right.
Another cheap shot. It must stop. I don't know what he's applauding. 2.7.
I think the fact that they gave him something.
Yeah. Well, 4th place could be a lot worse. He's found a couple below him, and he may be surprised at that when he sees that he has done. But To be honest, it wasn't a very inspiring opening group. Thomas Verner comfortably the best.
Einlaufzeit für die Läufer mit den
And,
Startnummern 7 bis 12.
Neil Wilson in
A
second place.
6-minute warm-up for the skaters with the starting numbers 7 to 12.
Neil's got to get 6 behind him to make the cut, so he's on the way, but it's going to get tougher as things progress.
Well, he's found 4 already. He's got to find another 2, and to be honest, they've got to come from the next group.
Yes.
Once he gets into the third group, it's not going to happen. But, that's the story at the moment. Werner leading from Wilson, Nermankari third, Mervenitsa fourth, Zivanovic, and then Sviatko. So now we move into the second group.
Trägt ein Kostüm mit schwarzer Hose und
Christopher
goldenem
Bertsen from Sweden.
Aus Bulgarien, representing Bulgaria.
4th World Championships. Just 21 years of age. He'll be first to go. There's Ivan Dinev. There's Sergei Davidov watching on. He'll be in the next group. From Belarus.
Vitaly Danilchenko.
Ivan Dinev, coached by Igor Pashkovich.
Der nächste Läufer trägt ein schwarzes Kostüm.
He's been as high as 5th in the European Championships, never really done it in Worlds, and after finishing only 11th in his qualification, struggling here. Danilchenko for the Ukraine, and Zoltan Toth for Hungary.
Der Läufer in der schwarzen Hose und dem dunkelblau-lilafarbenen
Someone who's
Oberteil.
been to the same hairdresser as Chris, Yamato Tamura. Finished 12th in his group. His 4th World Championships, hasn't been in the Worlds, hasn't qualified since
Und der Läufer mit der Startnummer 12
2001.
ein lilafarbenes Kostüm mit grünen Einsätzen aus den USA. Representing the USA, Matthew Savoie.
Savoie, 10th in his group. 2nd Worlds, he was in the Worlds in 2002 in Nagano. It's a useful group. Several you wouldn't expect to be in the second group. Savoie, one of them, Dinev, another.
Yeah, really hoping that Ivan Dinev can put it together tonight. He's struggled over the recent seasons, just lost that confidence. And I know there's a lot of support for him out there. Somebody asked what they thought that he needed to do to get back to the sort of form that he was in. And I think it's all psychological with him. Just needs to get that self-belief back.
It's strange because he looks such a powerful skater on the ice and an uncomplicated individual, but something goes on between the ears and it doesn't happen. It's very understandable. I'm always amazed when I come back to figure skating each year at how they cope with the nerves. When you think it's, what, 2.5 minutes here, 2 minutes 40, 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes in the free. Their whole year depends on those 4 minutes or the 2 minutes 40 here. How they cope with those nerves, and you're up in the air, 3 revolutions, landing on such a small space. It's just extraordinary.
Yeah, when you think it takes less than a second to perform a triple axel, 3.5 turns, it's just a feeling, and it's all about preparation. It's how many times you've done that program. It's got to be, you haven't got time to think. It's just got to be inbred. You have to do it over and over and over again. So important for the coaches to really prepare the skaters. And once you've done it enough, you get a self-belief. You know that you can do it. And you want to do it. You want to show the judges. You want to show the public. That's the frame of mind you've got to get yourself in.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, it is, but the big boys can do it. and it's everything at a level, you know. There are different problems. You see skaters come out like Ivan Dinev did. He came out and shocked everybody. Then you get a different pressure, other people putting pressure on you. And then you've got to focus on your own game and not worry about what's going on around you. That's so important too. There he is, and we wish him all the best.
There is 1 minute left in your warm-up.
Daisuke Takahashi of Japan. The two will be going in the third group, just practicing his relaxing exercises.
You ought to try that, Simon.
Yes. No, working alongside you is relaxing enough. Leaves me almost comatose. So Sweden, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Hungary, Japan, and the USA.
Not a lot of action out there now. The skaters have gone through their elements. Only 3 jumps, of course, in the short program. So chance to work on the footwork, spins, just get a feel for the ice, soak up the atmosphere.
And Neil Wilson will be watching this eagerly. He needs 2 more skaters to really fail, and then he's through to the free. Sounds pretty negative, doesn't it? But believe me, that's what he's thinking.
Thank you.
Good to see the ice looking better this evening than it did for the compulsory dances this afternoon. There have been a few question marks over the quality of the ice here, but it does seem to be getting better as the championships progress.
Dinev last off, second to go.
The next skater
aus Schweden.
representing Sweden, Christopher Berntsson.
So first off in this second group, in his 4th World Championships, 29th is the best he's managed so far. He's never made it through to the final stage. Let's see if he can do it this time. 11th in his qualification group, so he did pretty well. Christopher Berntsson from Gothenburg in Sweden.
Put down a fantastic short program at the Europeans.
Skating's version of Justin Timberlake. He was always going further and further off axis in his triple axel. Now his combination. That was good. Triple Lutz, triple toe. No. Hand down on the triple flip. 0.2 off. No. I have to say I wasn't mad about the routine either. I liked the beginning, and the end was good enough. And bits in the middle, of course, that weren't skated to his liking, but there was no combination of skating and music at all, really, through that. Music was just happening.
I think it looked completely different to what it did at the Europeans. I think after the fall on the triple axel, which was a hard fall, just took the wind out of his sails, and the whole drama from the program, the whole sparkle, completely disappeared. He was slow across the ice, the spins were slow, there was no real passion and attack in the performance whatsoever, and this was crucial to him. Got a big slip on the takeoff there. You can see landing forwards, and it's a nasty fall. There the skate sliding backwards at the end of the takeoff edge, and as soon as he left the ice he will have been thinking, crikey, how am I going to end up at the end of this one? But all credit to him, he came back fighting, and here's the Lutz, triple Lutz, a little bit low on that, but okay, kept the momentum going well, triple toe on the end, running out of steam a bit, using the drive of the free leg through at the end to get a bit of movement on that back outside edge, and here's the flip. Just everything a bit low, he was struggling, it made it very hard work, and that's why the hand had to go down just to secure him at the end of that one. So deductions of at least 0.6. Spins a little slow, just looked a bit off colour tonight.
Not good news for him, but it might be good news for Neil Wilson.
Ladies and
6
gentlemen,
ahead of
please, for
Neil, if my calculations are right,
Sweden.
from the Taras on the qualification.
The mark for required element.
Andrea Dohani,
Range of marks between
coach here. The marks are not as good as Neil Wilson, but as Chris says, he has a big advantage from his 11th place in his qualifying. Remember, Neil was 15th, 14th, so 0.6 was the advantage. Presentation 4-3 up to 4-8. And he slots into second place. Now he does beat him on the night as well. Or perhaps not. No, perhaps he doesn't beat him on the night. He beats him overall. So there is a chance that he could finish above Benson. Here is Dino, 5th in the Europeans back in 2000. Best he's done in Worlds, 12th in 2001. 11th in his qualification. Music from Peter Gabriel. Start. Triple flip, triple toe. He did keep the free leg off. Triple axel, this is better from Ivan. Oh. I'm nearly as sick as he must be of this kind of thing happening to him. It's awful. Triple Lutz is meant to be. Familiar shake of a head. It's not been a good winter for him. His home in the Arrowhead almost burnt down during a forest fire back in October. It must have been unsettling. And here is another major reverse in the World Championships.
But it was almost very good though, wasn't it? I mean, it was desperately disappointing, the mistake on the Lutz there, but in all fairness, that's the best short program I've seen from him in quite a while. So perhaps he can build on that. Perhaps he can get himself back to some sort of form before the free program. He'll be disappointed because the Lutz is, yeah, it's not a difficult jump for him. Triple axel was the big key element there, and he worked hard to get that landing. So it was a lot of good stuff, but shame about the Lutz.
Yes. I think he's going to qualify, but any thoughts, any doubts of him qualifying are just ridiculous. This guy should be in the top 10.
Yeah, he's definitely top 10 material. There's no doubt about that. Here's the flip. And that was good. Not too much height on that. Kept it long and low, so it was easy for the triple toe on the end. Igor Paskovic. Bit of relief there. Now that looks like it could have been when the went down on the Lutz, perhaps. Here's the axel, and this has been a bugbear for him over recent seasons. Does take it a little bit too far into the circle, so it means that when he lands he's on an inside edge and not an outside edge. So his weight basically is out the circle. Makes it hard to drive and get control on that.
But he's immensely powerful, isn't it? And all that strength that he has in those formidable thighs helped him control that.
Well, it is amazing the strain on the legs when you don't land correctly. You can imagine the forces on your knee when you land with your weight completely in the wrong place and you're trying to stop yourself from rotating that quickly. Very easy to get injuries, and he's just recovering from a broken leg as well, so got to be careful.
There's a new Bulgarian version of Eurosport in action for the first time at these World Figure Skating Championships. He's very happy with Denkova and Stavisky winning their compulsory. Not so happy here with Ivan. First place, but not for very much longer.
The next skater.
So now we move
Representing
across to the Ukraine.
Vitaly Danielchenko.
Young man who's been out of our cognizance for the last 3 years. Vyacheslav Zagorodnyuk is his trainer. Remember him? Won medals at Worlds. Vitaly Danielchenko, 25 years of age, from Kiev, and now from Richmond, Virginia. Down on the first element, the triple axel. Was planned to be the combination with a toe loop on the end of it. Now for the Lutz. No, nowhere near. Be more off for that, probably another 0.4. So this is a disaster for Danielchenko. again landing forwards on the double flip. Ouch. Poor Vitaly. 2 years in the wilderness and then back with a performance where he really did seem to be almost lost out there on the ice. Exactly, thanks. Emails coming in thick and fast. One from Jennifer here. Always talking about Chris's skating abilities at the World and European Championships. Wondering if you could show a clip of him in one of the competitions while the ice is being resurfaced. Jennifer, love to. The problem is that, wait for it, although they did have cameras in those days, they didn't have videotape machines.
You're very nearly right, actually, you know.
And you wouldn't want to, really. It might upset your evening. We wouldn't want to impose it on you.
You'd have a laugh anyway. Dear me. Well, thank you for the thought, Jennifer, anyway.
It was rather similar to this.
Well, there were occasions, actually, where it was very similar to this. Not all the time, thank goodness, but oh dear, what a night, and oh, how must he be feeling? It's an awful, awful feeling when you stood on the sidelines there, got to grit your teeth and think, crikey, there's nothing I can do for the guy. Look at this flip, oh dear, made 2 turns and, well, the timing just deserted him once he stepped out onto the ice. Deductions of at least 1.2. And for a guy who can do a quad toe, it's just incredible. Those boots, they've taken a pounding. But all of this, of course, could be good news for Neil.
Yes, just thinking that. Wow. Moved to the USA in 2003 and works in a shop owned by the man alongside him, Vyacheslav Zagorodnyuk. Skating shop. Zagorodnyuk, a bronze medalist in the Worlds 10 years ago when they were in Makahari in Japan. There he is. Trying to manage a smile. Perhaps they will later on, but it may well be the last we'll see of him in this competition.
Oh, dear,
wow. Could feel the body blow go in, couldn't you? Much better for presentation, but the damage has been done. And Danielchenko, we've had, what, 9? He's 6th of the 9. He'll slot in. Will he be behind Wilson or not? He certainly will be on the night.
The next skater,
and
representing
he will be. Overall, too, that is good news for Neil Wilson. There's Kevin van der Perren, talented youngster. He goes in the next group. And right now, Zoltán Toth for Hungary. 4th World Championships, never qualified for the final 24 in the free program. Danielchenko was 8th of 9 on his short program. Couldn't quite hold on, Zoltán.
The attempt at the triple axel, made the 3.5 turns, but didn't have his weight over that right foot.
Triple flip. And well, I'm afraid that was an afterthought and will be marked as such.
There's a 0.3 deduction for stepping out of the first jump in the combination. So not looking good for Zoltan.
Lands the Lutz. And that may be crucial, may see him through to the final stages. Not what he was hoping for. Was it what he expected? "24 years of age now. Is this going to be the first time he makes it through to the final stages?" Not been a consistent performer in the major championships. Best he's done in European, 17th. 3 times champion of Hungary. Hungary, of course, blessed with outstanding talent in the ladies' event, not so in the men's. And Neil Wilson will be biting his nails right now. He needs one more to skate and be marked under him, and he's through. Will it be Zoltan Toth? There's 2 more to go. You can forget about Savoie and really about Tamura too. This may be his last chance.
I think it's very possible. Triple axel here. Remember, Neil landed a really nice triple axel, but only did the triple double combination. Didn't do a triple triple. And, in this case, there was a turn between the 2 jumps. So a deduction of 0.3. And there it is, all over the place. On the first part of that combination, has to put a 3 turn in. And gets a triple toe. Not good quality on the end. Presentation not great. I think this has to go behind Neil.
Sofia Kulcha, who trains him in Budapest, was better.
If this goes behind Neil and ahead of Bernsen, it will probably take him down as well.
Yes. Yes, 0.6 between Benson and Wilson at the moment. Neil's still 3rd best on the night, lying in 4th position overall. Able to smile now.
Well, these marks are really crucial for Neil.
If you're a Wilson fan or a patriotic Brit, you want to see him in 5th place or worse, Zoltan Toth. Sorry to be so brutal about it, but that's the way it is. Certainly not as good on the night. Is he going to survive?
Presentation marks don't look too bad.
They don't. 5th.
Okay.
Wilson is going to go through.
Nächster Läufer
The next skater
aus Japan.
representing Japan.
Know what he's been doing in his spare time. And here is the Japanese champion. It's more like a Cherokee Indian, but he is from Tokyo. Hasn't been in Worlds for a couple of years, missed out in Nagano, missed out last year in Washington. 24 years of age. Grieg's piano concerto for Yamato Tamura, who finished in 12th place in his group. Could be a quad here. He seemed in two minds and ends up betwixt and between. Went for the toe loop with a triple toe combination, although he never got it on the end of that. Now for the looks. Yep, held it. Well, the young ladies here like him. He certainly likes to be noticed. But I'm afraid tonight more for his hairstyle than for his skating.
Well, what a pity. He's a real character. When it's going well, he's something to watch. A real live wire that just didn't work for him. I tell you what, Simon, I'm thinking that the ice perhaps is a little bit too hard, because all of these guys are really struggling with the toe jumps and getting the grip on the triple axel. And if you look across the ice, it's starting to snow up a little bit, and that's always an indication that it is a little bit too hard. If you think that Thomas and Neil are really the only guys that have skated anything like what they really can, and they were nearer the resurface when the ice is softer.
Yeah, they were the first two to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Incidentally, if at home you're wondering what's happened to Takeshi Honda, no, he isn't here. And it's a shame. He was injured at the Four Continents Championship, had a foot injury, had to give up, and isn't going to be here. That's a great shame. Honda, bronze medalist for the last 2 years.
I like the choreography of the program. And if those elements had worked like they should, it would have been a very different story. You can see even on the Lutz he had a real problem there. Nice double axel. Good soft knee bend on that. That's the sort of quality that we're used to seeing from this guy.
Email in from Ali saying, last time I saw Chris skating, my memory doesn't fail me, he was dressed as a woman with balloon stuff up his top. And that's quite right. I saw that as well. But there is a saving grace. It was pantomime. He doesn't go around normally dressed like that. It was a pantomime.
You want to see me on a Friday night? Well, thank you for that, Ali. I needed that. I'm having a tough time as it is, and you've just made it an awful lot worse.
Yes, Chris used to star in and produce some wonderful pantomimes, skating pantomimes at the Bracknell rink, which he used to run.
Those were the days, eh?
Great fun. Not great fun, I'm afraid, for Yamato. So he slots into third place overall.
Nächster Läufer
The next skater,
aus den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika.
Katarina Witt talking to Kevin van der Perren backstage, and that's no bad thing for Kevin. Now then, from the USA, 10th place in his qualifying. It wasn't good from Matthew SAVOIE. Needs better here. Triple axel out of nowhere. Triple flip, triple toe. Very good start from SAVOIE. This is the best so far. First mistake. Pity, because it had been going so well up till then.
Matthew SAVOIE.
Well done. Just a shame about the end. But no dangers of him not qualifying now. He should be leading after the first two groups.
Yes, I would think so. A real pity there, stepping out of the attempt at the triple Lutz. Didn't get the sort of elevation he was looking for there, and that's such a big deduction. 0.4 for a fall and 0.3 for stepping off the landing. So it's going to be expensive. But the rest of the program, very good indeed. Beautiful triple axel right at the beginning of the program. And as you rightly said, Simon, it was just literally out of nowhere. Here he is, off the spread eagle, left forward outside edge, lovely and tight in the air, and a great landing position. Such a strong back on the way out of that. And he's having to use that bottom pick just to secure that landing. Setting up the flip here, plant the right toe in. Now he left this combination very, very late, really close to the boards, but still going through with that triple toe, and you can see the skate hardly running when he landed on that. Just the momentum of the free leg giving him some drive on that back outside edge. Good step sequence, lovely and light across the ice. And that's something really to shout about. Good spins. Good going into the back sit first. A lot more difficult.
Ladies and gentlemen, the marks please for Matthew SAVOIE from the USA.
So surely he's going to be in first place.
Marks please for required elements. The range of marks between 4-4 and 4-9.
Yes, 4-4 up to 4-9. The second set will be appreciably better than that.
The range of marks
Very solid indeed. Matthew SAVOIE looking good. And 7 out of 9 have them in first place.
Verehrte Zuschauer, wir machen nun eine kurze Pause für die Eisaufbereitung.
So let's have a look and see where we are right here. Matthew SAVOIE in the lead. Ivan Dinev in second place. Tomas VERNER third. Yamato TAMURA fourth. Christoph Benson fifth. Neil Wilson sixth of the 12 that we've had so far. So there's confirmation. Those 6 will not qualify, and Neil Wilson will for the free program, and that is wonderful news back home in the UK. Be a third here. And that's the order for the third group. Kevin van der Perren goes first for Belgium, then Gregor Urbash from Slovenia, Ben Ferreira for Canada, Daisuke Takahashi for Japan, Sergei Davidov for Belarus, and Johnny Weir of America. They've just come out to begin their warm-up. We'll take a break. Don't worry, you won't miss any of the action. Keep with us. Back in a moment. Welcome back. We're in the third group of the 5 that we have for you this evening. In this group, Kevin van der Perren of Belgium, Gregor Urbash from Slovenia, Ben Ferreira from Canada. There's Michael WEISS warming up. He will be in the next group, not in the final group, which is the one he wanted to be. Wearing Chris's blade, so he needs to warm up thoroughly. After Ferreira of Canada, we've got Daisuke Takahashi of Japan, Sergei Davidov of Belarus, Johnny Weir. Not seen Johnny Weir before, first time, so it'll be interesting to see him from America, the American number 2. It's a high standard here.
Well, it should be. Kevin van der Perren says he's in the best form of his life, and he's first to go. So let's hope he nails that triple axel. That's been the main goal for him. He says it's much more secure. So really wish him all the very best of luck. He's the master of the triples.
There is 1 minute in your warm-up.
Here's van der Perren.
Of course, he'll have to just take it easy now and compose himself in preparation for his program. Skaters have a 6-minute warm-up, and if you're first to go, you usually use only 5 of it, so you have to get your act together pretty quickly. There is the lineup.
Well, Savoie's been comfortably the best so far, but you would imagine, because of course his was a flawed performance, that he will be overtaken at some stage by 2 or probably 3 in this group, unless we're going to be severely disappointed.
Your warm-up time is over.
Particularly interested to see Johnny WEIR, who's a tricky customer. He's withdrawn twice in competition. US Association didn't fancy his chances anymore, didn't select him for the Grand Prix, and he just said, okay, I'll show you. Went to US Nationals and won. Beat them all, including Gable and Savoie, who we've seen, and Weiss. So we'll look forward to seeing him.
The next skater,
Aus Belgien,
representing Belgium,
Kevin van der Perren.
Here we go then. First up for Belgium, Kevin van der Perren. 11th in the Europeans. Finished 8th in his qualification group. With the Justin Timberlake look. Is he going to be a superstar? Many think he might be, but he's yet to really produce. The first element here will define the performance. Triple axel, triple toe combination. Here it is. Not good enough, I'm afraid.
There'll be a 0.3 deduction straight away for the stepping out of that first jump. Needs to be foot perfect now. Just relax. That's better. Triple looks up the steps.
Double axel clean as you like. Well, I can see exactly what you mean when you reported his words. He's in the best shape of his life. He looks the epitome of health and vim and vigor. And for the most part, that was a terrific routine. You can see the talent he has there. He's yet to really produce it in 3 critical occasions at the same competition. Qualification, short, and then free. He hasn't really done it, but you can see from the last couple of minutes there, this boy's got it. No doubt about it.
Yes, he really has. He's the master of the triple-triple combinations. Did 3 triples in a row in his qualification. So he is feeling supremely confident. And if he lands with his weight anywhere near over the right foot, he can nearly always get a triple on the end. and just kicking himself for the triple axel, but it's a step in the right direction. It's another step. He's just nibbling away, and if you say that his goals are to do as well as he can in the Olympics in a couple of years' time, you know, if he just keeps the progression going, he's building all the time. This was much, much better from him. This has really been a nightmare, the triple axel for him. And there he is. He was right over the skate, a little bit quicker with that left leg, and he may have been able to make that.
Now, is that a lack of belief, or is it technique a little bit off?
Just holding back. No, technique seemed fine there. Perhaps not quite as quick as he could have been. Didn't quite get as much elevation as he would normally like. Is he just about making 3.5 turns? It's so difficult to get the leg back when you don't quite make the rotation.
I know you're involved with the Dutch Federation now, but they look with jealousy across to Belgium and see what they've got at their disposal.
Absolutely, yeah. Sometimes he comes over to us and trains with us, and it always gives the girls in Holland a bit of a lift when he's out on the ice. It's always good to have him there.
Yeah, he's a sharp-looking dude.
Who, him or me?
Sorry,
Don't answer that.
I don't think you were hearing that right.
Well done. Hope you can put it all together on the free program.
Now, is that going to be good enough to put him in first place at the moment? Is it better than Savoie? Remember, he finished above him in qualification. It should be enough, I would imagine. Savoie leading at the moment.
The wonderful thing with Kevin's program is he really let rip, didn't he, towards the end.
Not good for the elements, but the presentation should be a lot better. Yeah, 4-7 up to 5-3. It's going to be close. Second, Savoie leads. Van der Perren, second overall.
Representing Slovenia,
And next to Slovenia. This young man did really well in qualification to finish in 8th place in his group. 21 years old. Gregor Urbash in his 4th World Championships. Music, Kamina Barana. Triple Lutz, triple toe, big struggle, but kept that free leg off.
He did indeed. He really worked hard there. No momentum coming out of the Lutz, but he dug deep. Full credit to him.
Triple axel. Not much of him, but he's giving an absolute max. It just doubles out on the flip. Well, I wish you'd give a bit more than that. That was full throttle, wasn't it? Absolute full throttle. From the moment he stepped on the ice to the moment he finished. Don't know where he got the energy wrong, but he did make that critical mistake, 0.4 off, because he only doubled out on the flip.
Yeah, crazy mistake right at the end of the program. Real shame, because there was a lot to admire. He really had to work hard throughout the program, and there were times where the timing wasn't quite right, things weren't comfortable, but somehow he managed to find the resources to pull off the elements. But that flip was, oh dear, what a big mistake.
The simplest elements of the 8 that he's done.
Well, to be fair, none of the jumps are simple, and if you get the spot just slightly wrong, it's almost impossible to get the rotation. Look at the amount of effort he had to put in to get that triple toe at the end of that combination. A real drive of the left arm forwards. Here you see him spotting with the right toe, outside edge of the left foot. Here's the 3 turns. Drives the toe in, right leg through, quickly over that right foot. That's the key to getting that triple toe, and hanging on for grim death at the end of that triple toe. Triple axel here, over the right foot again, ever so quickly. That's one of the great things about his technique. As soon as the right leg goes past the left, his left foot's over it. Spins were okay, perhaps a little slow in places, but no major deductions on the spins. And that big 0.4 deduction, and that's what she had to say about it. I saw Gregor in Ljubljana a couple of weeks ago, and he did an exhibition at the end of some competitions that I went to with some of the Dutch kids, and he literally went straight out there and just did triple axel, no warm-up.
Really?
Yeah.
You do get about, don't you?
I try.
Yeah, you do. Sergei Davidov backstage. And let's hope he gives it the same amount as young Gregor here. He's a character, all right. Difficult to know where they're going to slot him. 9-2-4-7. Better for presentation. He certainly didn't hold anything back. 4th, that's good. He's done well there. He should be very happy with that. Someone has him in 1st place.
The next skater.
All eyes, not just from Canada, on this young man from Vancouver, British Columbia. 3rd World Championships, the best he's done, 15th in Nagano. Some blues here from Ben Ferreira, finished 9th in his qualification. Triple toe, double toe, meant to be a quad?
I think so. He was setting up for it. Just didn't look confident when he went out there.
The axel. That was wonderful, and landed with such ease. Again on the looks. Sold well. Some of it was really good. I just love that triple axel. The best we've seen so far this evening. Wasn't sure about the step sequences, I have to say. And of course there was the problem early on. He was going to go for a quad at the start, but he did very well to recover after that.
Yeah, it's not easy when you plant your toe in and think, crikey, this is wrong, in literally a split second, and opt to do 3 turns instead of 4. It shows you what a great feeling he really does have for the jumps. But you're dead right there with the axel, Simon. It was an absolute corker. Doesn't get much better than that.
There's Michel and Doug Lee training at the Mariposa School.
Well, here it is, setting up the toe. And then you can see opening out early, and no way he could get a triple on the end of that because he was a little over-rotated. So he did well to get double toe on the end. But just watch this. This is just about perfect. Over the foot quickly, perfect position in the air. And look at that landing, didn't he spot it well?
Easy, isn't it?
Wow, it's easy to watch, not so easy to do. Reminds me so much of Brian also when I watch it. See the same technique, same grounding.
Wonderful.
He's breathing for 2 minutes and 40 seconds there, Doug.
That's commitment for you, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they put in so much time and so much effort on the training sessions. It's a wonderful bond you get with the skaters.
He had a terrific time at Canadian Nationals. That's when they first really started to think of him as possibly a top 10 prospect. He could get in the top 10, but he wasn't good in qualification. A number of problems. But in Canadian Nationals, in the pre-program, he did a quad triple toe loop.
The thing is, when it gets to the free here, he's going to have nothing to lose. He can just go out and really sell the program now.
Yeah, the pressure's on his mate, Emanuel SANDHU. And if he skates clean in the final program, he's going to be right up there with a chance of a medal. Darn it. Wasn't bad.
It's been a night with a lot of errors, and if that continues, this might not be too bad a performance on the shaker.
They're not too bad, those marks for the elements, and they're going to be a lot better of a presentation. Indeed they are. 4.8 up to 5.3. And he's first at the moment, Ben Ferreira. First on the night. It's going to be a very close thing. Probably still Matthew Savoie. But Ferreira leads overall at the moment. As to the ice comes Daisuke Takahashi. There's Brian JOUBERT. French hopes laying with him. Here's Japan's main hope with no Honda. Just 18 years old last week, 7th in his qualification. Skating to the soundtrack to Mission Impossible 2. First up, combination. Not on triple toe. Didn't happen.
It's a real shame, actually. It was quad toe at the beginning of that, with double toe on the end. So a big start. It's a real shame about the toe at the end of it.
Triple axel just held on. It's sketchy, but he's surviving. Well, that's a good effort. They liked it, and they know a thing or two, and they liked it as well. First time at World Championships. He's Japan's only representative, and only here really because Takeshi Honda is injured. 18 last week. Yes, there were mistakes here and there, but I think there's another talent on the way to worry the very best of them.
Yes, he really is a talent. He's come out here with all guns blazing. Really attacked at the beginning of the program. Brian JOUBERT in the picture there, looking very relaxed, just arrived in the arena about 15 minutes ago. What must be going through his head? He looks confident.
He'll be on the ice in about an hour and a half. This guy could be in the final group in years to come at World Championships.
Yeah, he really could. Here he is setting up the big combination at the beginning. Plants that left toe in.
He has such quick rotation. I didn't spot that was a quad to begin with. He's so quick in the air.
Very, very quick, yeah. Didn't really get a lot of elevation on that. And obviously going for a triple toe at the end of it, but wasn't to be.
But not a shrinking violet, this guy. Neither of the Japanese contenders have been up there. Remember Yamato Tamura with your haircut?
Yes. It didn't do him any good, did it?
No.
And here's the axel. Watch the landing of this. How he held on to this, I will never know. Why? Right over the toe.
And a lot of that strength of mind as well as strength of leg.
It really is, yeah, self-belief. Of do or die out here in the short program. Nothing in light on the Lutz, and he had to work hard on the landing of that as well. Gutsy character.
And plenty of guts alongside him, Tatiana Tarasova. She's got another very talented charge.
The range of marks between 4 and 3.
Kenny Platter, Maya Usava alongside. Anybody else want to have a go?
Give me a couple of minutes, I'll get down there.
Right up to 5.5 for presentation. They like it here. And first place. 7 out of 9 have him in first place. Well done, Takahashi. 2 to go in this group. And here's the man from Belarus.
Sergei Davidov.
Used to skate for Russia and has got better and better. Last year at Worlds, he got into the top 10 out of nowhere. 24th the year before, 7th last year. Sergei Davidov from Belarus. His key element is the first. Should be a triple axel, triple toe loop combination. Yep. Again, great strength.
Yeah, he had to work hard at the end. Not a lot of knee bend on the landing, but made it count. Big, big combination.
Oh, just a foot down there at the end of that triple loops. Couldn't quite hold it.
Oh, and perhaps just trying a little too hard. Pulled the weight back a bit on the lutz. Lovely footwork.
Problems on the double axel. Sergei Davidov from Belarus. 12th in the Europeans this year. 9th in qualification. Outside shot of the top 10 place. That's what they're hoping for. It may not happen though.
Tell you what, Simon, I really enjoyed that. I loved the footwork. Remember, there's 8 elements in the program, and I think probably 3 or 4 of the elements he's done the best out of anybody tonight. Loved the footwork. There was a danger of him actually being a little bit over the top. He was giving so much at the beginning. Looked as though he was really pumped up for this. Big combination in the beginning, triple axel. Look at the energy going into that. Good position on the landing, perfect. Triple toe. Gosh, that free leg was low on the landing of that. Here he is, setting up the looks off the steps, back outside edge. Nice and clean off that outside edge, and again the weight a little bit far back. But I love this, using every part of the skate and using the music well. A lot of thought gone into this step sequence. And even the placement of the spins in the program, using the little nuances with the music. And more than once or twice, these two must have had their hearts in their mouths.
Elena Chekhovskaya and Vladimir Kotin. Couple who took Maria Butrskaya to the World Championship.
He's a powerhouse, isn't he?
Yeah, another pocket rocket. You like those, don't you?
I do, yeah. Got an affinity with him, I think.
I saw a shot of your man Lindemann coming in to the rink. Lindemann, who will be second to go in the final group, which is coming towards us. An hour and 10 minutes away. And,
yeah, a lot of expectation on his shoulders. He's getting a blinder in the qualifications. So look at those marks. A big disparity, isn't it?
4.5 up to 5.3. More for technical. A couple of them have him in first place, but overall he's down to third. And still it's Takahashi who leads.
The next
Now then, not seen him, so I'm very interested to see this young man. Controversial character from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Just 19 years of age, from nowhere. He won American Nationals. He's been at odds with the Federation, but they couldn't but take him to Worlds. Let's see how good he is. Didn't have a great qualification, 7th in his group. Is he the natural heir of so many champions to come from the USA? Johnny WEIR. Triple toe.
Well, he made that look easy, didn't he?
And the triple axel as well. All looking very smooth early on. Fine on the triple flip as well, but it's the choreography that takes the eye. Mesmerizing. What an artist. At times it was like ballet on ice. We could be seeing the new superstar of the sport here. Johnny WEIR, quite brilliant. And the guts to go with all that artistry, to be able to display it in his first World Championships. This is a special guy.
Well, I tell you what, Simon, there was no doubt in his mind when he came out onto that ice that he was going to do that. So composed, so prepared for this short program. That was great to watch. I loved the program. The choreography team of Michel Poli, Angelika Krylova, and Giuseppe Arena. Not quite sure who was responsible for that program, but it was a masterpiece.
And he is one of the finest talents I have ever seen as far as artistry is concerned on the ice. Whether he can produce the jumps when it matters in the free program, we'll have to wait and see. But you wouldn't doubt him from what we've seen here, but the rest of it was compelling.
Well, it was a beautiful combination right at the beginning. I just loved it. Triple Lutz, the back so straight, triple toe on the end, there's the axle. Opens early, beautiful landing position. And we've seen people tonight fighting, struggling, doing all sorts of acrobatics at the end of the jumps. Not this guy. Just solid as a rock. Knows exactly where the skate is. Always with his weight over the skate. Priscilla Hill.
Well, he won the World Junior Championships the first time he took part in them. He's not going to win World Seniors the first time, but I wouldn't mind having a bet that over the next 2 or 3 years, he might well be at the top of the podium. He is absolutely outstanding, and he lit up the evening.
Yes, that performance really has been a class of its own, and I really hope the judges go with it on the second mark. They can go right up there.
Yes, right up, 5.8, 5.9, why not?
Yeah.
Even though the problem is, of course, we've got so many still to come, still another 12 to come, but you have to go with it.
Well, technically they can leave the door open a little bit because there was no quad in there, no triple axle combination. No. So it can be 5.5, 5.4.
Absolutely.
Technically, but it should be 5.8, 5.9 for presentation.
Let's hope so. Well done, Johnny Weir. Great to see you. And I hope we see a lot more of you. Well, they are low, aren't they? 5-0 for the elements. That's tough, up to 5.5. But let's hope they go way up here for presentation. No, not good enough. Judges, what are you doing? Watch closer. Be brave. That's no good. First place, yes, but he's going to drop, of course, quite some way, and the judges did not have the guts to go with that.
6 Minuten Einlaufzeit für die Läufer mit dem Startnummer
But
9.
wasn't it great? And he deserves to be at the top.
6-minute warm-up for the skaters.
Something quite outstanding. We may not see anything quite like it for the rest of the evening, and I mean that. Even with the likes of Plющenko and Sandhu and Joubert and Lambiel still to come. That may be the pick. Takahashi second, Ferreira third. Kevin van der Perren not doing himself too much harm there. Gregor Urbash too. It was good. Thomas Werner and Neil Wilson, 12th place of the 18 that we've had. So confirmation that he will make it through. The guys who are feeling a little bit sorry for themselves.
There isn't much room down there, and that's how they go.
Two or three of these guys, particularly Lee and Weiss, something to prove here. Someone like Gryazzev, I think pretty happy to be there. Schiefer as well.
Gryazev's coming in here, he's got nothing to lose, comes in as junior world champion, and he'll be just putting down a marker here. Weiss. They've numbered at competing at this sort of level. So he needs a good performance here. And Lisa stood at the side there, looks, well, a little tense to say the least. Frederic Dambier there, just leaving the ice. Didn't see a lot of him out there on the warm-up, but he's another little powerhouse. Great form in the European Championships.
Ready to go then with the penultimate group.
Nächster Läufer
The next skater
aus China.
Representing China,
So
Min
it'll be
ZHANG.
China first and fifth in this penultimate group. Zhang Min is the man who leads the way. Believe in yourself. And he'll believe in Elvis Stoico, who's his role model. Three-time world champion. Let's see if Zhang can do enough to get himself in the final group in the free program. Fourth in his qualification. Soundtrack to the music. Lawrence of Arabia.
He's the first skater to ever have landed a clean quadruple toe loop in a short program in an ISU championships. He can do it here.
First up, triple axel. No, slipped out of it, 0.3 of a deduction there. Bitter blow. Can he put it out of his mind as he sets up here for what should be the quad in combination?
Oh, that was beautiful. Quad toe, triple toe. Very close to the boards, but what a cracking quadruple toe loop that was.
He almost went up vertically. That's spot on. Makes you wonder how on earth he missed out on the axle. It's been fit perfect since then.
Great control through that step sequence. Excellent recovery. Not the greatest fan of his choreography. He's a little upright for me, but after the disappointment, the shattering blow of missing out on the triple axel, because his weapons, the things he brings to figure skating, are his jumping ability. And if he misses out on one of those, any chance really of moving up to something exciting is dashed. But he missed out on the axel, and then boom, boom with that combination. Yeah, it's tough when you make a mistake on your first element like that. Sometimes it can just rattle around in your brain, and it can put you off the next elements, but not in this case. That quad toe was something very, very special indeed. Loved it. And he'll be kicking himself for the mistake on the axle, because it was a big error as well. 0.3 deduction just for stepping off. Here it is, setting it up. Perhaps he was just a little bit tense going into this. Looked okay in the air. Ah, he could have done it. Kept that left arm in front of him. Just a bit loose on the landing, but watch this. It does these quad toes. You won't see much better than this evening. Perfect position going in. Look at the elevation.
He surprised the cameraman, didn't he? Because he went up so high, it's so suddenly.
Yeah, that really was good. A brilliant technique there, and clean. You see, even the likes of Plющenko will get a bit of a turn at the beginning and a turn at the end on the quad toe. They're not actually doing 4 turns, but he did a clean 4 turns there.
Where does that dramatic elevation come from? Is that power,
Well, it is power, and it's also the quickness from the spot. It's important for the skaters to convert that momentum of travelling along into height. So you've got to be really quick transferring the weight onto the toe. It's just timing. Of course, we've seen with the Chinese, they've really stripped the sport down and come up with their own technique.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last for Min ZHANG, China.
So far, Chinese men are the nearly men in world figure skating. Not quite able to do it in the three elements, in the qualification, in the short, and then in the free. They usually get 2 out of 3 right. Or maybe sometimes only 1 out of 3, but never 3 out of 3.
You just feel their time will come, though, don't you? Yes, the writing's on the wall.
Thank you.
Needs to work a little bit on his presentation if he can. The jumps are there, but an error this evening. Well, first place, I have to say, I find that absolutely mystifying.
The next skater,
Although I think most of them
representing
have Weir first place on the night.
Yeah, he's in first place because of his 4th placing in his qualification.
But how 3 judges can have him first on the night, I don't know. Now, for France. 4th in his qualification group. 11th in the Worlds in Nagano in 2002. Didn't appear last year. Frederic Dambier. Music from Handel. Dambier has had back problems over the last few days. Wish him well here. Now watch out for this combination. Oh, such a shame.
But that's uncharacteristic error. Quad salco, triple toe was the combination, and usually if he makes the quad salco, you never see him miss the triple toe.
Triple Axel did well, fought for the landing there and got it.
Step sequence went from barrier to barrier.
Triple flip. Beautifully landed. Takahashi. Happier now. Yes, if only. And I'm afraid he's one of those competitors up to now, so close to being right in the top flight. Just missed out on a medal at Europeans. 4th, that's the worst place for me to be. 11th in 2002 at Worlds, just outside the top 10. Maybe it's going to be similar here. But you can see a natural skater, wonderful choreography. And I bet he's a joy to train for Pierre Trant and Annick Gaillagé.
Yeah, he's a real competitor. Feisty little guy, and the quad sal was great, and he's kicking himself for that mistake on the triple toe loop. Never mind, there was a lot to admire there. Beautiful triple flip landed. And a very, very nice program indeed. I know the French team were bitterly disappointed that he didn't get a medal at the European Championships. They really felt that he should have got the bronze medal. Here's that salto. So quick on the rotation. 4 turns, beautifully landed. Triple toe. Just didn't get the weight over the right foot as it went through. Perhaps a little bit too much with the check going into that. Drives off that left back inside edge. 4 turns. Clean as a whistle. Little bit of a wobble on the end there. Bit of a stutter. And in fact, as he planted the left toe in for that toe loop, didn't really get a good grip off that bottom toe pick. Here's the triple axel. Has a strange technique with the left arm going into that. But works for him. And he's so strong on the way out. She lost a few pounds again on that program. And this was probably the best element of the program. Beautifully clean triple flip. He makes it look so easy. The weight perfectly over that right foot on the landing. No deductions in the spins that I saw. Loved the step sequence at the end because he really gave it everything. Trying to build up on that second mark because he knows he's going to need it with those 0.3 deduction from that combination.
Very pleasing to watch. Email saying, why are British skaters not in the top positions anymore? Will the Sheffield, the new Sheffield Twin Arena have anything affecting that? Well, one facility doesn't make an awful lot of difference. I'm afraid it sometimes goes in cycles, and it's not our cycle at the moment.
No, that's right. There's been a lot of groundwork put in the UK, and a lot of coach educational programming, and Peter Morris has worked tirelessly for the last, well, it must be 10 years on a great educational program, and I think you'll see the rewards of that over the next couple of years. We've got Jenna McCorkill, who's doing well and working up the ranks, and our dancers, the Kerrs, who've come in 10th in Europe. That's great news. And so things are on the up and up, but it will take time.
Gaillagé and Pezza are looking on. 3rd place overall for Dambier. 10 to go.
The next skater representing
We've seen a brilliant new
Andrei,
shining star in Johnny Weir from the States. Let's see how this guy goes. Stephane Lambiel doing his warm-up exercises, but this is Andrei GRIAZEV from Russia, 6th in his qualification. 1st World Championships for him. Just 18 years of age from Penn. And now very much based in the States. Held on to the triple toe, a wonderful triple axel.
And it's got a little bit of swing on the axle, which made it difficult for the triple toe, but such a natural talent.
Easy looking triple flip. plenty of attack on this circular step sequence. Well, no doubt that he has brilliant talent, this fella, Andrei GRIAZEV from Russia. First time at World Championships, and a shame that we won't see Alexander Abt anymore. In many ways, he's a natural successor. Alexander has decided not to compete anymore. He'll be a great, great loss to world figure skating. Never got on the podium, but was always so close. And Andrei GRIAZEV, in many ways, is a new kind of Alexander Abt. Brilliantly talented. I hope he doesn't have the injury problems that Alexander did, because I'm sure without those injury problems, he would have got on the podium several times at World Championships. Tatiana absolutely thrilled with him. And the rest of the entourage as well.
I just think he's an amazing talent, so natural. The jumping technique is just something to behold. You can see the influence of Yaget in there. He's worked so hard with him. And good to see. He fought hard. I love the step sequences, using every inch of the blade throughout the steps. And so much elevation. Program that I think he really loves to perform. There's the flip, one of his best triple jumps. So smooth, the weight over the skate, and she's living every inch of that program. Look, willing him through the program, almost blowing him up in the air. Doing the choreography with him.
Simply, if you want to give a tribute to Alexander Abt, which we would love to do, log on to his official homepage at SNAFU, that's snafu.de/figure-skating/Abt. Do that once more. SNAFU, snafu.de/figure-skating/Abt. If you got that, we may well repeat it later in the week. And there is a natural successor to Alexander Abt. Maybe we'll be even luckier. I'll rephrase that. Maybe we'll be luckier and even more successful. 4.7 up to 5.4 for the elements. The second mark will be consistently higher. 5.0 to 5.5. I think it might have been a bit better than that, but not to be. But first time up, perhaps an element of him earning his spurs.
But I think he's earned them this evening.
Nächster Läufer
The next skater
aus den USA.
Now they're
representing the
desperately
USA,
disappointed with his
Michael WEISS.
qualification program, finished 5th in his group. Young man who was 3rd in Nice in the World Championships and in '99 as well. Can he get on the podium this time? 27 years old, from Washington, D.C. Skating to Henry V. Here is Michael WEISS. Quad toe, triple toe. Might have been a double-footed landing on the quad.
Yeah, there was definitely a touchdown with that left foot on the first part of that combination. Did well to get the triple toe out at the end. Now he needs to be foot perfect from here on in.
He was on the triple axel. Super smooth landing to the triple lutz. So crisp, so sharp. WEISS very nearly back to his best. What a good routine. Choreographed by the lady in picture, wife Lisa. Just great. If only. Said that a few times tonight. If only he hadn't double-footed on the quad. Boy, the judges would have had a hard time keeping that mark down.
Well, it's only a 0.1 or a 0.2 deduction for that touchdown with the free foot, and the rest of the program was very, very good indeed. I don't think I've seen him skate like that for quite a while. Beautiful triple lutz off the steps, and he does the lutz so well. You may remember last year in the World Championships, it was that jump that led him down. Don Law's there, and Lisa, she'll be thrilled with that performance. That was magical.
Feel better?
He's not satisfied.
Well, I think he's disappointed with the situation that he's in going into this, and he'll be disappointed that he touched down, because he really didn't need to. You can see there, he was okay, but good on him. Went through and did that triple toe at the end.
Yes, and Michael WEISS, you know him, doesn't seem to be a man who will settle for second best.
No, he's a supreme competitor. He wouldn't have been competing at the top if he didn't really want the best.
He's going to be the best so far, that's for sure, but by how far? Technically a much more demanding program than Johnny WEIR's. Johnny WEIR still leads on the night, although he's in second place overall to Zhang Min.
This was impressive. The entry into the triple axel, no preparation whatsoever, just beautifully choreographed, and he was solid as a rock on the landing of that. Good footwork. Here's the Lutz, back outside edge, does a quad Lutz. So triple Lutz for him should be no problem at all. Loved the costume, really went with the choice of music. Spins were good, no deductions on the spins anywhere. So hopefully the marks will be good.
WEIR's is the mark to aim for.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mark is for Michael WEISS from USA.
Let's see what they're going to do. Second mark will be very high.
The range of marks between 4.9 and 5.5.
4.9.
No. Not possible. Not possible. Better for presentation, right up to 5.8, but 4.9, come on. Let's be reasonable. It's just stupidity, that, to think you can get away with marking like that. First place for WEISS.
Skater
Aus China.
representing China.
And that's where anonymity
Chengjiang Li.
doesn't help, because we don't know who gave that mark. We'd love to know, and that's what's got to change. Now then, here's Li Chengyang, 24-year-old from Changchun, 5th in his qualification, 4th in the Worlds last year. Still to get on the podium at the Worlds. Could this be his year? Music, global spirit. Oh dear, I'm sure that was meant to be the quad, wasn't even a double.
Certainly was, he got it all wrong going into that, didn't know where the heck he was. Oh, needs to settle down. That's better, beautiful triple axel.
Triple loop. Beautifully landed.
And in one rotation short on the first part of that, change to a sit spin.
highly entertaining program. Love the music, love his interpretation out there on the ice. It's the best I've seen him as far as choreography is concerned and the musical interpretation, but wow, we've seen him absolutely outstanding on the jumps. Last year was a good example where he very nearly got on the podium. Didn't happen for him tonight.
No, really disappointing performance, and he did well to come back with such a good triple axel after the attempt at the quad here. You can see it went all wrong right from the off. Just perhaps over-rotated on the way in. I think he was a little hasty trying to get the rotation, and literally nothing he could do to get anything out of that. Yeah, just rushing, and he knew early on that he was in all kinds of problems at that point. But came back strongly. Didn't have a lot of time to recover and get his head in gear. This is the quality of jumps that we're used to seeing from him. Beautiful triple axel, 3.5 turns, no problem at all. Textbook position in the air. Very, very strong on the landing. And it was the first triple loop we've seen of the evening. Strange choice. I don't know why he's not gone for the Lutz or the flip, because the Lutz or the flip would give a higher tariff.
Flip will give a higher tariff than the Lutz?
No, the other way around. The Lutz would be harder. But the loop...
No, sorry, I meant the loop. Flip will give a higher tariff than the loop?
Yes.
Okay.
All over the place going into that back sit spin. And I had him one rotation short on the first part of that sit. In which case it's a 0.1, 0.2 deduction there.
I'm afraid the challenge from both the Chinese has fizzled out to a certain extent. It's the Americans who've come good so far. The two W's, Weir and Weiss.
Ladies and gentlemen, please for Chengjiang LI, China.
Normally it's the second set that sees him rocket up. Won't be that case this evening. I would imagine they'll be around the same.
The range of classes between 4.4 and 5.2.
4.4 to 5.2, more or less as you'd expect. Well, higher, 5.6 though I think is
Thank you.
rather generous. 6th overall. Zhang is 3rd. Still the Americans lead the way. Weiss is in 1st place, Weir 2nd, although Weir leads on the night.
Romania, Gheorghe Chipa.
And here's Gheorghe Chipa from Romania, 25 years of age, qualified in 6th place. Married to his coach and choreographer, Sandra. And a dad as well. Heady heights for him, 18th last year. Big chance of a top 10 finish. As you see, his music will be the spirit of Morocco. Shame. Going for the quad. Put the hand down. Similar and worse on the triple axel.
Better there on the Lutz, really linked well with the steps.
But he did so well in his qualification, but that's a pity.
Capable of, and such a pity. There's Sandra. She came over to the Netherlands last year and worked on some programs with some of the younger kids for a week, and hope to be doing the same again this year. Big sigh.
He knows he's a lot better than that. He's already shown it this week, but he's not going to be in the top 10 now, I don't think. Not unless there are disasters in a couple of days' time.
It was certainly a good start to the championships with the qualification round. And here he is setting up the quad toe. Good momentum going into it. You need that lean, but it should straighten up towards the end of the jump, and it didn't straighten up for him. So a hand down at the end. Too far over the toe, double toe on the end. Here it is, plants the toe, gets the momentum from that drop 3 turn on the way in. Just makes the 4 turns. The weight not over the skate. No way you can get 3 turns on that toe loop at the end.
Had a message in on the board from Sarah Ann saying, shouldn't they investigate about the scores, referring to Michael WEISS and the 4.9. Shouldn't they investigate the scores that are given? And they do investigate, but later down the line. Not today, not tomorrow, but later on.
Yeah, as I understand it, it's 2 or 3 times a year their scores that have been given out through the years are investigated, and if there's a repeated bad judging by certain people, that will be dealt with by the ISU, but nobody else will know when or where or what the situation is.
And discarding the highest and lowest scores used to happen, doesn't happen anymore, because they are automatically pulling out 5 judges of the 14, only 9 count.
That's right.
So it may well be that 4.9 didn't count. The odds are that it did.
And the problem for us is that we can't see the place marks either.
No.
So remember that the marks are only a means of getting a result, so that 4.9 could have had the same result. I don't think it... Well, that was a bit of a big disparity, but in theory, when you see a bit of fluctuation in the marks, the place marks can sometimes be the same.
But our message to the ISU is, let's not keep it a secret, eh, boys?
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Code of points, which will in all probability be in use next year for the World Championships in Moscow. Has its merit. Chris is a supporter, I'm a supporter, but let's stop the anonymity.
The range of marks is between 4.2 and
not what he wanted to see. Still to go. In all probability, all 6 in this final group are going to get a load higher marks than George. So that's the confirmation then at the moment. It's America 1 and 2, WEISS in the lead, Johnny WEIR, despite disappointing marks, in 2nd place, although he leads on the night. Zhang Min in 3rd, Frederic Dambier 4th for Switzerland, and Andrei Gryaziev Takahashi in 6th and on 7th rather. There's confirmation lower down. It's Lee in 6th place. Dinev desperately disappointing in 13th. Neil Wilson, once more congratulations to him, he's made it through. He'll be in 24th place presumably. And those are the guys who've missed out. So Plющенko first, then Lindemann, Sandhu, Joubert, Klymkin, Lambiel to decide who's going to be in pole position going into the free.
Nächster Läufer.
The next skater
Aus Russland.
representing Russia.
Sometimes in the sport, the best go first.
Plushenko.
He has been the best. Is he going to be the best this year? 21 years old from St. Petersburg. The double world champion. Evgeni Plushenko, anxious to set the standard. An enormous quad to start, quad toe, triple toe. And a triple axel to follow. Triple that's effortless. How could we ever doubt him? Plющенko in supreme form. I can't believe we're going to see a better performance than that. Surely he's nailed in the #1 slot going into the free with that 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, it really was something very, very special indeed. Loved the combination, beautiful quadruple toe, triple toe on the end of it, great triple axel, little bit over the toe rake on the landing of the triple lutz. Spins were great, and as always, the step sequences, he just sold them. Well, the crowd are going crazy here, and rightly so. A masterful performance, and all he could do going off at the beginning of the group is skate clean, put pressure on the other skaters. They've got to deliver now. And we have a competition on our hands, and he knows it. Mission. He's almost allowing himself a smile.
Or have we got a competition on our hands? Or has he almost taken the competition out of reach as far as tonight's concerned?
Well, I think if we have a couple of clean programs, it's going to be interesting.
You can see that being threatened, that mark. The mark that we're going to get from him.
No, you're probably right. I don't know. Well, Joubert, if he goes really clean, he's got the confidence now, he's got the pizzazz. We'll have to wait and see. Combination was great.
But here we're talking 5/8s, 5/9s. Are we talking 6?
I don't think you'll see any 6s. You might get a 6 on the second mark, possibly, yeah. They can't give a 6 on the first set of marks because of the landing of the triple Lutz. The important thing here was the composure and the way he came out and did the program with no deductions. If you watch the landing of this, he's a little over the toe rake, bit of a slip on the takeoff going into that as well.
But sold it so well, so if you're watching the gesture, you wouldn't have noticed there was a slightly iffy landing. No deduction there, as Chris said. But he needed his strength and his confidence to see him through that dicey moment. And it was the only one. Plющenko on top form, and it doesn't get any better than that. With Yagodin now retired. I think we've seen the best performance. I cannot think that this is going to be equal tonight. Still got it all to do again in a couple of days' time. 5.7 up to 5.9 for the elements. It could be a 6 for presentation. No, but a whole group of that 5.9s. Look at that. And right across the board, the judges go with it. Plющenko says, match that if you can. Is he out of reach as far as the short program's concerned? Now from Germany, listen.
Stefan Lindemann.
Third place in qualification. His best skate so far at Worlds. Stefan Lindemann from Erfurt in Germany. Skating to the soundtrack of the film Ernest. Quad triple toe loop.
Well, that was an absolute peach. The best quad toe that I've seen from him.
Yes. Held on to the triple axel. Looked like he was going out of axis, but held off. Whoa, just held it. Triple Lutz. Yes, well done. He's given the crowd exactly what they wanted. No, it's not in the class of Plющenko, of course it's not. But it may well be second best. For me, I still prefer Johnny WEIR's performance, but technically the first mark, that's going to be stronger.
Well, certainly the quadruple toe loop was something very, very special indeed. And the triple toe on the end of that. Boy, did he work hard on the Lutz, and on the triple axel, you spotted it right, Simon. He did go off axis. I thought he'd let the left foot go way too far into the circle, but he's so strong, and he has the advantage of being quite short, that you can fight your way back from it. Goodness me, that was a gutsy skate.
So much pressure on his shoulders, so much weight of expectation, and you could sense the relief as soon as he finished. Great stuff. Such an honest, open face. He looks a lovely lad. And you can see the feeling of support around him. Ilona Schindler, his coach in Oberstdorf and Erfurt.
But here it is, that quadruple toe at the beginning of the program. And that was just beautiful. I bet he couldn't believe it when he came out of there. Look at that lovely soft knee bend, the control coming out of the triple toe at the end of the combination. Just fantastic. Well done, Stefan. And he's only just started to land this in competition. Well, he couldn't have wished for better than that. Clean as a whistle, and she can't believe it.
Well, until this year, his ranking has never really matched the talent that he's had. We've always been very excited by him. I remember when he first came to the fore back in '99 in Helsinki, we marked him out then, and he didn't disappoint. Next year he got a bit better, but it's never really happened for him. But now he's 2 out of 2. He just could get on the podium this year.
Yeah, it's not out of the realms of possibility. Anything can happen. Here's that Lutz. Watch how he fights on this. This was all over the place. Didn't get the elevation on that. Had to squeeze it hard. Whoa, what a relief.
The second mark, I don't think is going to be as high as the first. Certainly not going to be as high as Plющenko's. The question is he going to get above Weiss? Is he going to get above Weir? That's the important thing for him. Certainly will be no worse than 4th.
But his goal here would have been to stay in that last group going into the free. And he couldn't have done any more.
No.
The guy gave his all out there. Fantastic.
I think considering everything and all the pressure on him, I hope he's going to be right up there.
Oh, good marks, good marks.
5.5 up to 5.7, and for presentation up to 5.8. It's good enough. It's second right across the board. Stefan Lindemann is in with a chance of a medal on Thursday. Now to a man who's rocketed himself into the top flight here. He was only 8th last year in Washington, desperately disappointed, but now Canadian national champion, winner of his qualification group. What can he do? The pressure's on him at Worlds for the first time. Can he respond? Emanuel SANDHU from Toronto. No, nowhere near. Not sure if he was going for a quad, but it was only a double toe loop.
Well, certainly setting up for a quad.
And that is any chance of a medal right out of the window now, down on the triple axel. And the answer to the question I posed at the beginning, I'm afraid, is a decisive no. Did well with the triplets. Oh dear. Such high hopes and dashed within the first minute of his program.
Emanuel SANDHU.
And the Canadians supporting him as only they can, but this wasn't an Elvis Stoico type performance from one of theirs. And they are in a sense of shock, I think, rather, as he is. We saw him at Canadian Nationals where he was out of the world and out of this world, and also in qualification, but it wasn't to be.
Well, in the ISU Grand Prix finals in Colorado Springs, he really shocked everybody by winning there. And it's a funny thing, isn't it, pressure? Here it is, setting this up, just tried too hard, overcooked it, and you end up with nothing. Wow. I wouldn't have believed it. And then here on the axle, pressure was really on here. They just looked a little tense. So 0.4 away there. And he's not going to be staying in that last group for the free. That is for dead sure.
No, he could drop quite dramatically, like he did last year. In fact, where he finished 8th, you'd say that was going to be around his position unless he can come back with a stunning performance when the pressure will be off on Thursday.
It certainly will. He'll come out with something to prove, I think, when he comes out in the free. There was the looks. Good to see him fight back with that. That's the sort of stuff that we're used to seeing. I love the step sequence and the musical interpretation throughout the program. That's a bit of a touchdown with the heel there. So the judges will pick that up on the instant replay.
Yes, in qualification he landed the quad, no problem at all. It was his first jump, and it set the tone for a dazzling performance. 6 other triples. If he can do the same thing on Thursday night, he can haul himself back into respectability, but it won't be a medal, not this year. Still only 23, time on his side, talent on his side as well.
Well, he has proved this year, you know, in most of the competitions that he really can handle the pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So it's Joubert on next.
No, he's not going to like the marks. It's just how far will he fall?
Well, the first set will be the brutal one.
Could be 0.5 or 0.6 deductions there on that first set of marks.
Around the cloud. She's trying to get some lucky charms out, but she'll need more than that.
She was looking for a worry beads, actually.
the range of marks between 4-2.
Ooh, wow.
The marks, please, for presentation.
That is tough.
Really gone for
The
him.
range of marks.
Up to 5-8, look at that for presentation.
Yes.
Trying to help him with that second set.
They can't help him enough. Look at that, 8, 3 to go, and you presume all 3 are going to be better than that. So the very likely the 10th or 11th.
Next skater,
Aus Frankreich.
representing
Now then,
France,
here he is, the European
Brian
champion, a teenager from Poitiers. Oh, Dupuis just keeping him out a little bit longer, just to calm him down, but he does seem a very settled young man. His music, Pink Floyd's Time. Here is Brian JOUBERT, second in his group. What can he do this evening? Good start, quad toe, triple toe.
But he really has got nerves of steel. Not a good landing on that quad toe.
And the triple axel. Not as elegant as some, but no problem, no deductions. Watch this and draw. Yep. Time the music. It could be his time. Never done anything at Worlds so far. 6th last year, 13th the year before. Could be a podium place beckoning here for JOUBERT. Very, very good. For me, not as good, I have to say, as Plющenko. I don't have it quite in the same class, to be honest, but of its type, it was very good indeed. And I would see him second.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm sure he'll go into second place there. But in some ways, that was a mammoth performance. To come here after the expectation, all the hype that's been going on around him after winning Europeans. We've talked about additional pressure that's been put on skaters. And he's come out there, and it's just a walk in the park. Fantastic. The guy is a superstar.
Yes, he is so relaxed, isn't he? I wonder if Alexei Yagodin, who we haven't seen here, has had a lot to do with that. He's certainly had a lot to do with his preparation for this. But let's take nothing away from Laurent Dupuis, who's got him ready. But he looks a natural, doesn't he? A natural competitor, a natural skater. And he seemed to take it all in his stride.
He really did, because a lesser guy would have put double toe on the end of that. He was hardly moving, but still found the triple toe. He knows he needs that triple toe to be able to compete with Plющenko. All the other guys, for that matter, in this group. Look at that. Just fantastic. And everything was just a little bit off. But it didn't matter. He saw it through. Look at that lean on that. Could have put a hand down. That would have been a 0.1, 0.2 deduction.
Came through unscathed.
Yeah, that was a big skate. A really big skate. He's come of age. I loved it. It's great to watch a skater when they are a little bit off axis and have to work really, really hard. And hey, waving back.
No camaraderie at the top. Good marks, 5.6 up to 5.8. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be in second place, even a 5.9 there. Not as good as Plющenko. It's surely going to be second place, I think, virtually across the board for Joubert. Just 1/3. Well done, Brian Joubert. In position for a medal. And here's Ilia Klymkin,
The next skater,
the Russian number 2,
representing
second
Russia,
behind Plющenko
Ilia Klymkin.
at Russian Nationals. A beautiful skater. And skating here to beautiful music. 23 years old from Moscow. Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake for Ilia Klymkin, second in his group. And a lot to do now. Triple axel double toe, but he had to put an extra turn in it and will be marked as such. Also had to step off. It never looked right, did it? Axis was all wrong.
And that was the attempt of the quad toe. And didn't go through with the right leg. Now he's really got to sell the program.
Well, we've seen some outstanding skating in the last couple of groups, and particularly in this group we've seen Plushenko, Lindemann and Joubert skating out of their skins, but not so Emanuel SANDHU, and I'm afraid not so Ilia Klymkin. Wonderful skater, but Oh dear.
Yeah, that wasn't his night. It's such a pity. He was so good at the European Championships, and you had to feel for him. He's had a torrid time building up to this season. In the summer, his long-time coach died and had to make changes and deal with all of that. Came to the Europeans and really skated for his old coach. But it would have been lovely. My heart was really with him there. It would have been lovely to have seen him skate a really good program here. Just didn't really fight for that axel combination.
Comparatively late on the scene, he came to his first Worlds last year in Washington and got into 9th place. Bronze medal at the Europeans this year, so hopes were being built, but dashed here.
There it is. He did well to keep the free leg off as he put the turn in between the two jumps there. There's only a 0.1 deduction for putting turns between the two jumps on the combination, but of course the tariff won't be as high because it wasn't a triple combination. There's that attempt at the quad toe and really dropped the left hip on the way into that, so the weight wasn't over the right foot at all. Oh dear me. That was a tough tumble. And then after that, the sparkle and the pizzazz had really gone out of the program.
Sympathetic applause rather than anything else for Ilia. He's another dispirited man leaving the stage. Victor Kudryavtsev, his new coach, along with choreographer Irina Kolganova.
The range of marks between 4.6 and 5.3.
The judges have been pretty hard, even with those in the top group, rightly so. All the elements, better for presentation, I must say. I'm surprised he got a couple of 5.8s there. I don't know where they got those from. See, marks ranging from 4th down to 11th, 7th overall, with 1 to go.
Letzter Läufer dieses Wettbewerbs.
The next skater
Aus der Schweiz.
representing
Last to go then,
Switzerland.
from Switzerland.
Stefan
10th last year in the World Championships. He's been marking time for a couple of years. I love watching him skate. He has such command, but not been able to produce on the world stage just yet. Will this be his night? Stephane Lambiel, 3rd in his group, and the young ladies just love him. Hold on. Free landing, but it was okay. Triple axel.
Yes, he got the rotation very late on that.
Couldn't hold on to the quad toe, which would have made such a difference. Lutz was hell, but it's all a bit of a fight tonight. Lovely guy, super skater, but his world, as far as this night is concerned, fell apart really in that last 2.5 minutes. It won't be a medal this time. It may well be in the future. He's had injury problems, he's fought his way back from that, but he'll be wondering why he wasn't able to produce.
Well, some people love to skate at the end of the evening, but it is tough to hold your nerve, particularly when you've seen all the performances that have gone. It's quite an open door, to be honest, for a World Championships. Apart from Plющenko. Well, what will the judges do with that? And Michael WEISS must be thanking his lucky stars. Johnny WEIR, right up there.
Chance just to have a quick word with Stefan Lindemann down ringside with Petra.
First of all, congratulations for that great short program. You must be very lucky about your performance.
Yeah, first thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy. I think it was the best program I ever did, and it's just a nice feeling to be here in Dortmund to skate for the home audience, and then that clean program. It's so fantastic.
Was it more pressure for you in front of the home crowd, or was it better for you?
No, I was relaxed, and so I could do a good job, and I don't know why I was so relaxed, but maybe it's because of the home audience, and they pushed me, and so it was, I can say, easy to skate.
Thank you very much, Stefan Lindemann, and good luck for the next program.
Best performance, certainly when the pressure's been on, and we really admire him for that. Great to hear from him, and good luck to him. He's got a chance, not just of a medal, he's in a medal position. Chance, even silver or perhaps even gold. Quick chance to have a word with Brian
First of all,
JOUBERT.
congratulations for you as well for this short program. After the combination, what was with you?
You know, it was very hard. This short program, it was the harder of the season, because I saw Mr. Plющenko and Lindemann. They did a very good short program, so it was very hard. And when I finished my combination, it was okay. It's not finished, but the most important was clean.
Thank you very much, Brian JOUBERT, and good luck for the long program.
Thank you.
Still modest. And whatever happens, even if it's gold here, you sense he's going to be as modest as ever at the end of the week. Marks for Stephane Lambiel, not bad, up to 5.8. Again, rather kind for presentation, not obviously nearly as good for the technical. Fourth place, though, I think he's rather lucky, I have to say. Rather lucky.
Meine sehr geehrten Damen und Herren, damit ist der Wettbewerb
Yeah, I think he's extremely lucky.
beendet.
There's confirmation of it, pushing WEISS down into 5th. And, the two Americans will be pleased to be in that final group.
Yes. It's 6th place for Lambiel on the night, which has him in 4th. So it's difficult to say. So one place behind him would have been Zhang. Probably, actually, the way it's turned out, nothing to get too excited about. I think in the end we've got the right order at the very top. Plющenko in the lead, JOUBERT second, Lindemann third. Lambiel perhaps lucky to be 4th, but they're breathing down his neck. WEISS and Johnny WEIR very close to him. Lower down, Kevin van der Perren. Disappointing for him to be in 18th spot. So much talent to burn. And I think on the next list we're going to see the Brit, Neil Wilson, 24th. Well done to him. He qualifies. We'll see him again Thursday night. And there's the guys who we won't be seeing anymore, not this year anyway, but it's been some competition.